You know, life has this beautiful, strange way of reminding us who we are, sometimes softly, sometimes in ways that shake us right down to the bone. And in those moments when the world feels loud and confusing, I want you to remember something simple, something honest. Not everything in this world is meant for everyone. But some things, some dreams, some journeys, some callings, they're meant for you, and that's enough. More than enough, because your heart, your kindness, your courage to keep going, even when it hurts, that's the reason this path exists. You don't need the world's approval. You don't need the crowd to cheer. What you need is to feel that quiet truth inside your chest, saying, "Why? This is my story, and I'm ready." So today, I want to talk to you from a place of love, real love, the kind that doesn't shout or demand, but gently takes your hand and says, "Keep going. You're doing beautifully." And this journey, it's not for everyone. It's for you. This journey is not meant for the world to understand. It's meant for your heart to recognize. And that truth, as simple as it sounds, carries a tenderness most people never fully touch in their lives. Because the world, for all its noise and speed and insistence on being seen, often forgets that the most meaningful paths are felt long before they are understood. Use long before they make sense to the outside eye, long before anyone else thinks they matter. And maybe that's what makes your path so rare, because it was never meant to be obvious. It was never meant to be approved. It was never meant to be approved. It was never meant to be stamped with someone else's certainty or labeled with someone else's logic, music. It was meant to be recognized by you alone, in a quiet place where your truth lives. Even when the world around you seems to be moving in a completely different direction, there's something beautifully vulnerable about walking a path only your heart understands, something deeply intimate about holding a dream no one else can see yet. The world often demands explanations, justifications, reasons. It wants proof, evidence it guarantees. It wants you to show your heart like a document, something it can review and sign off on. But your heart is not a document. It's a landscape, a universe, a collection of moments, memories, scars, hopes, and small fragile pieces that know their own direction, even when you can't put it into words. You've probably had moments where you tried to explain your journey to someone, only to be met with confusion or dismissal or that polite, distant nod that says they hear your voice but not your meaning. And maybe that hurt a little. Maybe it made you question yourself for a moment. Wonder if you were imagining things or wanting too much or believing in something that didn't exist. But the truth is, not everyone is wired to recognize the path meant for you. Not everyone can feel what you feel. Not everyone can hear the quiet tug of your soul calling you forward. And that's okay. They don't need to. This is your path, and your heart was made to hear it. There is a deep, sacred intelligence inside you, an inner knowing you were born with. Even when you doubt yourself, even when you feel lost, even when fear tries to drown out every whisper of hope, that inner voice doesn't disappear. It waits, patiently, lovingly, calmly. It waits for you to grow quiet enough to feel it again. It waits for you to remember something you once knew before the world taught you to doubt yourself, before you learned to shrink your dreams to fit inside someone else's expectations, before you learned to hide how deeply you feel, before life convinced you that certainty must come before courage, when in truth, courage has always come first. Like, your heart recognizes things long before your mind catches up. It feels the shape of your destiny before you have the language to describe it. It stirs when something is meant for you. It tightens when something is meant for you. It tightens when something is meant for you. It gives you signals you might not always understand, but you feel them anyway. A pull, a warmth, a restlessness, a quiet knowing. A pull, a warmth, a restlessness, a quiet knowing, a soft ache. These sensations are not random. They are guiding you toward the parts of your life that matter. The world teaches us that logic is the highest form of intelligence, but logic can't feel, logic can't sense, logic can't recognize what your soul recognizes. And while logic has its place, your heart operates in a different dimension entirely, a dimension where emotion, intuition, memory, longing, and love shape the direction you take. This is not weakness. This is not foolishness. This is one of the most profound forms of intelligence a human being can possess. The ability to trust the quiet, wordless truth inside you, even when others don't understand it. And perhaps the greatest misunderstanding people face in life is the belief that a path must be visible to others to be real. But some of the truest paths begin in darkness. They begin in uncertainty. They begin in questions. They begin in the soft glow of something you can't fully explain. They begin in moments where only you feel the shift, only you sense the calling, Only you understand the meaning forming inside you. That is not a sign that your path is wrong. It is a sign that it is yours. There is a particular beauty in having a journey designed specifically for your heart. It means the experiences you've had, the joys, the losses, the heartbreaks, the small triumphs, are not random debris scattered through your life. They are coordinated, nates, markers, lessons. They shaped your sensitivity. They carved your empathy. They sharpened your intuition. They deepened your capacity to love. They gave you the ability to see things others overlook. Your heart recognizes your path because it was shaped by the very things that prepared you for it. But the world sometimes makes people forget that their hearts have wisdom. Maybe you grew up taught to follow the safest routes, the normal route, the expected route. Maybe you learned to silence your desires because they didn't fit the mold. Maybe people around you chose comfort over courage, and they wanted you to do the same. Maybe they didn't mean to limit you, but their fears became louder than your dreams. And little by little, the world can make you doubt your own inner knowing, doubt your sensitivity, doubt your emotions, doubt your intuition, doubt the dreams that live quietly in the back of your mind, doubt the small voice inside you that says, there's something meant for me. But no matter how much noise the world makes, your path doesn't disappear. It waits. It stays steady. It stays patient because it belongs to you, and only you can walk it. And sometimes all it takes is one moment, one breath, one realization, one spark of clarity for that path to become visible again, even if only in the softest way, even if only as a feeling you can't shake. People often expect a journey to announce itself with certainty, but the most meaningful journeys rarely begin with clarity. They begin with curiosity, with a subtle pull in a direction you can't rationalize, with a feeling that something matters even if you don't know why yet. They begin with the heart whispering, pay attention. And if you listen long enough, if you allow yourself to trust the things you feel, instead of only the things you can prove, the path becomes clearer with each step you take, even if others never understand it. And that's another important truth. Your journey doesn't need to be understood to be valuable. It doesn't need to be validated to be real. It doesn't need to be visible to be meaningful. The world often misunderstands what it cannot measure. It misreads what it cannot categorize. But your heart is not meant to be categorized. Your path is not meant to be categorized. Your path is not meant to be reduced to something practical or predictable. You are walking a journey shaped by the depths of who you are, not the expectations of who others think you should be side. You've probably felt at times like you don't quite fit into the places you've been, like you're meant for something deeper, more meaningful, more emotionally honest than what you've experienced so far. And that feeling isn't a flaw, it's evidence. Evidence that your heart recognizes something others don't. Evidence that your heart recognizes something others don't. Evidence that you're sensitive to a kind of truth many people avoid. Evidence that you're not built to numb yourself or shrink yourself or flatten your feelings just to blend in. The music, to sense, to understand the intangible, to follow the invisible threads that connect you to your purpose. And yes, that can feel isolating at times. Being someone who feels deeply in a world that often prefers convenience to connection, speed to sincerity, noise to meaning. But isolation doesn't mean wrongness. It means difference. It means uniqueness. It means your heart is tuned to a frequency that not everyone is aware of. And while that may make your journey feel lonely at times, it is also what makes your journey beautiful only at times. It is also what makes your journey beautiful. Because your heart recognizes what others overlook. Your heart sees meaning where others see inconvenience. Your heart feel the weight of moments that others rush past. Your heart knows when something is right for you, even if no one else notices. And those are the very qualities that guide you to the path meant for you. There will always be people who don't understand why you care so deeply, why you dream so fiercely, why you follow instincts that don't make sense to them. But that's because they're not meant to understand. They don't have the emotional blueprint you have. They don't have the same calling. They don't carry the same inner softness or the same quiet fire that lives inside you. They don't have the same relationship with meaning that you do. And that's okay. Their path is theirs, yours is yours. The moment you stop needing the world to understand your path is the moment you become free. Free to move at your own pace. The noise turns into music. Free to follow the things that feel right even when they look uncertain. Free to choose the experiences that expand your soul rather than the ones that merely maintain your comfort. Free to recognize that the life meant for you is shaped by your heart, not their opinions. And when you begin to trust your heart more deeply, something beautiful happens. The path that once seemed invisible begins to glow in places. Not brightly, not overwhelmingly, but gently. Like moonlight reflecting on water, you start noticing small signs that guide you, moments that align too perfectly to be coincidence, feelings that arise at the exact time you need them. Music, people who appear in your life with messages you didn't know you were waiting for, opportunities that seem designed with your name on them, thoughts that keep returning to you no matter how many times you try to ignore them. That is your heart recognizing its path. And even when fear appears, and fear will always appear, it doesn't mean you're going the wrong way. Fear often shows up right when you're stepping into something meant for you, because the heart expands faster than the mind can comprehend. Fear is not a stop sign, fear is a doorway, a reminder that you're entering territory where growth happens, where transformation begins, where your life shifts into alignment with who you truly are. Music. The key is remembering that only you can feel what's meant for you. Only you can identify the direction that resonates. Only you can hear the subtle pulse of destiny beating inside your chest, and your heart, with all its sensitivity and softness and depth, is designed to guide you more accurately than anything outside of you ever could. You are not lost. You are recognizing. You are remembering. You are awakening to a truth your heart has known all along. Stops naturally as requested. Love gives you the courage to choose the path that belongs to you alone. And this is something many people never fully understand because they think love is only about companionship or affection or the warmth of someone caring about you in a way that feels safe and familiar. But love, real love, goes far beyond that. It reaches into the deepest parts of you, the places no one else sees, and it awakens something brave in you, something you didn't know was waiting. Music. Something that rises quietly, not in loud declarations or grand gestures, but in a soft certainty that begins to guide your choices, your steps, your direction in life. And the courage that grows from love is unlike any other form of courage. It isn't loud or forceful, it isn't aggressive or proud. It is gentle, it is steady, it is gentle, it is steady, it is patient. It helps you look at the world differently, and more importantly, it helps you look at yourself differently. Because love, the kind that actually changes you, doesn't demand that you fit into places that hurt you. It doesn't require you to shrink into versions of yourself that feel too small for your heart. Love expands you, it softens you, it makes you reach for truths you were once afraid to touch. It teaches you that the path meant for you isn't supposed to make sense to everyone because it's formed through the unique shape of your heart, your memories, your pain, your joy, your longing, your dreams. And only love has the power to make you trust that path, even when you can't see where it leads. Yet, love doesn't just show you where to go, it shows you who you can be. The kind of person who can stand up even when they want to collapse. The kind of person who can walk away from things that no longer nourish their soul. The kind of person who is willing to grow, even when growth feels uncomfortable or uncertain. The kind of person who chooses truth over approval, passion over fear, meaning over expectation. Love helps you become someone who listens to the quiet voice inside instead of the loud voices outside. And that shift, when it happens, changes everything. Maybe you've experienced a moment when someone believed in you more than you believed in yourself, when they saw something in your eyes, a flicker, a spark, a hunger, and they whispered something gentle like, "You can do this," or "Keep going," or "I see you trying," or "I see you trying." And even if the world felt heavy at the time, even if doubt was sitting like a storm in your chest, something in you softened, something in you loosened its fear, something in you loosened its fear, something in you leaned toward hope. That's what love does. It doesn't fix everything for you, it doesn't walk the path for you, but it gives you the courage to take the step you didn't think you could take. It gives you the strength to try again. It gives you the strength to try again. It gives you permission to choose yourself. And sometimes love doesn't come from another person. It turns into music. Sometimes it comes from within you, slowly, quietly, almost like a secret you have to rediscover over and over until it finally becomes familiar again. Maybe there was a time in your life when you forgot how to love yourself, when you forgot that your heart deserved gentleness, when you forgot that you were allowed to feel deeply without apologizing for it, when you forgot that your dreams were valid, that your pain was real, that your pain was real, that your healing mattered. But then, little by little, life began to teach you that love is not something you have to earn. Love is something you are allowed to give yourself freely. And that realization begins to rebuild you from the inside out. Self love is not loud, it doesn't announce itself, it grows like roots, quietly, steadily, deeply. It forms the foundation beneath your courage. It reminds you that even when everything around you feels uncertain, you have something inside you that refuses to break. Something inside you that refuses to break. Something inside you that keeps reaching for better, for more, for truth. And when you begin to love yourself, even imperfectly, you start making choices that honor your heart. Instead of betraying it, you start walking away from things that drain you. You start protecting your peace. You start choosing silence when noise tries to control you.